As soon as you want to play, you can literally go like this, start the order. Let's see if I'm in here. Oh, it didn't find me. Okay, no problem. So I'll hit back, and I'll say create a new account. Okay, come in here, and I'll set myself up, and I'll be like, okay, cool. So guess what we're actually interacting with right here? Technically, look at this. He has a settings set. Yesterday we were playing with climbers versus customers, but technically, when I get all done, I'm going to end up adding a customer record to the database. So this is, I didn't have to log in, I don't have any permission, but it kind of wants my information. So I'm going to basically be interacting with the customer database.
Joe's looking forward to the things you said that were up and coming.
There are some really neat things up and coming, and like this is actually part of why we're doing training. We used to kind of be like, it's on our tick list, we're going to get to it, we're going to get to it, and nobody even knew where some of these features were that we were headed towards. And what ended up happening, and this, I apologize if it's a little side tangent, but we kept thinking we were going to be able to get this thing done. And then be like, okay, here's your whole package, have fun. But what we're seeing is that it keeps going out in front of us, in front of us, in front of us, in front of us, and nobody even knows what we have. We have years and years and millions of dollars invested into this tool that can help you do all kinds of cool stuff, but no one knows about it. So eventually what ended up having to happen is we're like, you know what, we just have to get it out. And then hopefully we'll tell people where we're headed. And what's even been happening recently is we're kind of like, you know what, let's just keep collecting all these ideas, because Adilas people give us tons of ideas, tons. Joe gave us some ideas already just today, you know, etc. He's like, boy, it'd be really cool if we had a bowling pro shop, cool little logo, and then like, you know, like a little custom interface, like all kinds of different ideas. We gather these ideas, and then what we're trying to do is we'll present them as potential projects. As people are interested in them, they'll help fund those projects, and then we will release them as different tools, and we'll keep piggybacking that system. So that's kind of where things are headed now, and that's where we need to kind of push it to this level. So, you know what, I'm going to actually put this in my address so I can at least pretend like I'm remembering it, because otherwise I'll have to add myself again and again and again. Okay, and I'm just going to say, okay, cool, good enough. Click on this. So what we were is we were in a web cart, and it's currently walking us through this simple little process, okay? This is how I'm going to make my little order. Did I get my information? Did I review it? I'm currently on that step. If I have a problem, I can edit. I can sign back out. I can go back to my account. I can do a new thing. If I'm ready, I physically click it, okay? Click. So technically, here's my new little order. Order number 44. And it's technically been ordered. Because I said I wanted to do an order versus a physical checkout, it sent me to virtually a quote inside of Adilas. So quote order number 44. So technically, I'm going to switch windows here, go back live, and go home, okay? And I'm going to actually go to the quotes homepage. Brandon Moore created the little thing for $4.54. And here's who we told it to assign it. These are all settings behind the scenes, okay? Steve wasn't even in here today, but we said every web cart, I want it to be assigned to a certain person, okay? That's at a huge universe level of those type of deals. If I click on history right here, cool, got it, whatever. If I click on printable, here's technically my order for my 5 hot tamales, any of my taxes. That's simple e-commerce, that's ordering, okay? If you actually wanted to pay for something, watch this. We would basically go down to this level. So I'm back here in, I switched. I'm now outside of the secured environment. I'm in the shop environment. I'm just going to click on this again and say I wanted to buy something else. Let's go actually buy some pieces of hardware for the rock climbing stuff. Click here and say I wanted black diamond belay devices. I'll take one of those. Black Diamond carabiners at $6.95 a piece. I'm going to go 7 of those, 8. Put a couple things together. I don't have enough money for that, or that. Cool. Add it to the cart. If I click any button here, what it will do is it will loop over everything that's in this little cart that has a numeric value, and it will add it. You don't have to specifically click the button that's next to it. Basically what it does is it just says, go send this form to the thing and see what I have. So you just click it. It rolled it in at 1 and 8. Okay. The last one we did was start order, which was basically a very generic. It kind of created a quote. If you actually wanted to physically pay for this, you would go like this. Start checkout. Hey, Brandon Moore, you haven't signed out. I still know that you're in here. You're currently the last person that was in here. Would you like to continue with your cart, or would you like to sign as somebody else? Okay. Now you'll notice that it has a little bit more information if we're going to go clear through a checkout process. We have 2 more things. Instead of just review, climber info, and review, I have shipping and payment, and then finally submit information.
So Joe's asking, so an order would be for a site-to-store type feature for a customer pickup?
Correct. So they physically have to come in, hey, do you want anything else with that? And how would you like to pay for that? Okay. Basically, they would restore it to cart and then process it, but they could pre-package it or prep it or whatever's happening. That's kind of an order level, okay?
And I would assume you could adjust your settings, so if you didn't want anyone to order, you could just have it, they can only shop and check out.
Okay, correct. We didn't even talk about that. And what happened, remember how I said one's at the world level, you can control yours, and at the universe level, there are probably 15 to 20 settings that we do to control e-commerce, okay? And if you would like to see that, just for a second, that's a great question. Watch this. View cart, see how it says start order or start checkout? I'm just going to actually flip-flop some settings to show you how it's actually going to affect things, okay? Now you have to have the universe level permission, okay? Like we're at the universe level if we're dealing with e-commerce. Do you have a merchant account? Do I have all those settings saved? Do I know which location you're doing this? Do I know who you want it assigned to? Like, we have to kind of know a few more pieces of the puzzle. We're going to go to the universe level. Okay? So I'm logged in here. This is my play site, and pretend that I am a Adilas powered user and I actually have access to this. So for just a quick second, I'm going to switch to Adilas. Okay? I can't even get to the universe level permissions through this basic My Favorites page. I have to go to the classic home page. Classic homepage, click over here, go to the corporation homepage. So this is basically like which worlds are inside of Adilas. This is a super admin permission, okay? And I'm going to go over here to the use, and I'm going to come here to use for testing, and I'm going to go to admin settings, okay? Here's some of the admin settings we currently have, okay? We can tie it into a customer ID to like know who we're billing and stuff like that if we wanted to. What special pages do you have? Okay, these are your custom interface pages or home pages. Okay, here's advanced e-commerce and web settings. Okay, you don't get to control this. We actually control this at the universe level based on what we need to have happen. Okay, and the reason is that people would just be like, yeah, cool, I want to do this, this, and this, but they don't have all of the pieces, and so it's not really ready. So that's why it's at the universe level versus the world level. So right here, watch this. This is all I need to do is uncheck that little box, and I won't even allow ordering. I can literally tell it like final verbiage that I want or whatever. Hey, yes, let's do this. Check for quantity on hand, yes or no. Like there's a ton of different things. If I do this, if I say yes, check for quantity on hand, if somebody browses to something and I currently have 0 in my inventory, it'll say out of stock instead of having an add to cart. What happens there is some people are like, give me the order, I will fill it, regardless of if I have it. And other people are like, oh, whoa, I don't even want to sell that if I don't have it. And so it's a setting. We can do shipping. We can do a bunch of different little things. Let's say here, cool, we'll add a $5 shipping charge if I'm actually going to do checkout. Or let's actually go shipping free. Like you can say, do you want to add a shipping charge, yes or no? These are just the settings we currently have. Are you going to allow customers? These are some pieces that are not done quite yet, okay? Allow statements and histories and online bill pay. these are parts that we think would be awesome to do it. So say, for instance, you had tons of people who owed you money, and you allowed them to just log in and then pay their own bills online. Very limited functionality. How much do you have? It's all going to go against a credit card, okay? So how much do you have? Okay, I'll spread that out for you. It passes all the validation, it checks all this kind of stuff, and then you basically say, yep, I'll commit $500. So you pay it, and all of a sudden, it'll roll those invoices out of the receivables because it physically charged the card, and so it's kind of doing some cool stuff that way. That's going to be an awesome one, okay? You have different ways that your customers can sign in. You have tons of options, like just as, for example, you want them to use their zip code, their email, their ID, their phone number, their birth date. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff. You basically create how you want the person to log in. What store, what salesperson, what invoice type. You know, what kind of other settings do you have? So what I did right here is I just turned off that show the order button, okay? If I update these settings right here, oh, so it's this is validation on the admin universe level. I need to go like that. Okay. Basically, I said I want to allow quotes, but I didn't tell it which one I want. Okay. So I'm going to come back here and say Save Settings. Cool, I'm good to go. So technically, at this point, I'm going to switch back. I'm switching windows. I'm currently in this cart mode, but if I hit refresh right now, I don't even have the Start Order button. Okay. And now, basically, what I'll do is I'll buy my belay device and my carabiners, and I will start the checkout process right here. So I would click this, checkout. Hey, you're still Brandon. You want to continue? Yes, continue. Click. So right here, it's basically saying, hey, here's your climber information. This is you. Is this correct? And if everything looks good, you just keep advancing the ball. Minimal chances to make choices, okay? Like, ideally, we're trying to lead you down this little path, so it's like, oh, cool. Now you're in shipping information. Here's my main information. Do you want to use this, or do you want to add a new address? Like, you can pick and choose. So say you're like, that is me, but I want to ship here. You could literally just click like this. Okay, where? Like, it basically kind of wants to know what you want to put it in, and then you're like, oh, actually, this needs to go to more digital ideas. You get the picture, but basically you can kind of do some different things. I'm going to actually come back here and just say this and say continue. Okay. So at this point, it's saying, cool, I've got you. Doesn't look like I have any special shipping information. I've got you right here, and just so you know, there was a $5 shipping fee that was added to it. Does this look okay? Your current total is $80.42. Okay. And then you click, and you physically create an invoice, okay? And so that's the very generic e-commerce process, okay? If you didn't want to show or hide certain things, here's the cool thing that you can do, and this is what's almost like a point-of-sale system that's e-commerce ready, like an e-commerce ready point-of-sale system. Watch this. If I was back on my inventory shopping and say I checked candy again, okay? Candy, big thumbnails, go get it. Say my Twix is, I didn't have it loaded and it wasn't ready, so I didn't want it on e-commerce. I could literally go to Twix and say, don't even show it. Okay? So this is how you virtually can manipulate your pieces. Watch this. So currently I'm in Adilas.biz shop. Okay? I'm going to switch windows, so I'm going to go back to Adilas.biz top secret secure. I'm not even in the right corporation. I'm going to switch back to my use for testing. I'm virtually transferring worlds right now. Okay, I'm going to go find my item. Item Twix. TWI. Boom. Edit. Come down to the bottom. I'm sorry, I don't even want you to be shown. Okay, this is web stuff. This is another permission. Can you do it, yes or no? And I'm going to say edit that item. Click. So currently right now it's saying, hey, guess what? I'm not going to show it on the web at all. So if I switch back here, even though this is shop, say a person is actually just browsing this page, they technically won't even see Twix, even though I have it as my items. So you can pick and choose which ones you want to show. Like, say for instance you had some that you're like, oh, this is a piece that I use all the time, but I have to always put a custom description and a custom price in. You don't want to show that in your e-commerce thing because it's probably going to have a zero price or something. Okay, so like you can kind of mix and blend and do that, the different things. Or you could go like this. Hey, you know what? I do want to get my Twixes ready. Let's go get a picture. We'll load it in, and then we'll automatically push it out. Okay, so literally, say you're out there in cyberspace, and we'll just go to Google really quick, and we'll just go get a picture of a Twix. We'll just go to images. Oh, sorry. Images, and we're just going to go TWIX. We'll just find a fun one. Oh, that looks great. And that happens to be a JPEG. Perfect. I'm going to go save the picture. And say I'm just going to drop it in here, and I'm just going to call it Twix. Now hit save. Click. Okay, I'm going to leave Google. I'm not in here because nothing's turned on. I have to go back inside of my secure world. I'm currently on the Twix candy piece, and I'm going to say Add Edit Photo. And I'm going to say Browse, and I'm going to say, you know what? I know that you were in my pictures and under candy and Twix and open, and say I wanted to be okay, this isn't required. I just wanted to show you what happens to a caption when you actually add it to e-commerce. Boom, now I got the Twix thing. I'm going to go like this. View gallery, sweet, there's my Twix, good stuff. I'm going to go in a little deeper and I'm going to turn it back on, okay? Go ahead and show that again to the public. It's now ready. Edit that item, it's good to go. Basically at this point in time, if I come back here and I hit refresh, I now have a loaded picture with the item, clear to the thing, 2 bars, pick, yum, like it becomes searchable. It's part of your description, so if you needed to describe certain pieces like, hey, this feature has this, you could put it in a photo caption, and all of a sudden you're virtually building more and more searchable pieces for your e-commerce. And so that's how it works. E-commerce ready, point of sale. And this is just the generic version. Imagine if you were able to be like, oh, I want to do this and this and this, and we open up this API and you have all the access to the Adilas engine. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to serve up? Here's a fun new little image. This is kind of just for fun. My brother Russell kind of did this one, and I can show you the bigger one, but you got the Adilas engine. What do you want to run this engine like? What do you want it to look like? Okay, flying saucer, big old rig, slick bike. What do you want it? You have the Adilas engine. How do you want it to run? So that's kind of for fun. So Joe, hopefully that answers your questions. We were flip-flopping in between secure world and outside secure world, but e-commerce is fun. It does require a universe level settings to kind of make that thing happen, but once you have it, you can play the game. So just as a recap, there's 2 separate pieces of this puzzle, okay? Shannon, maybe I can have you help me recap real quick. Web presence, what did we have there?
Just customer facing, so world level, you
Okay.
can control that.
World level, okay, and you control it. They can just see it, okay, so we'll put a little eye right here, okay, and some little, so the world level, and you can just help people to see it, okay? E-commerce, what's the difference there?
Well, it's at the universe level.
Universe level, correct, okay?
But they can purchase.
Correct. Or order, or whatever, okay, pretend that that's a dollar sign. Okay. So basically those are your difference, but they're all tied to customers. It's all virtually using pieces that are internal to Adilas already. If we do an order or a quote, it lands here. If we do a physical checkout and we put a payment on it, it lands here. Okay? And it goes through this process, but we're basically exposing one portion of our site so that people can interact and play. Eventually, the other pieces that we want to do as part of our e-commerce is almost saying, would you like to pay for some of your bills that are outstanding? Because it's still just credit card information and who's going what, and you have to log in so we know who you are. So there's some neat things that are coming in that direction as well. So anyway, that's kind of a quick little recap on e-commerce.